girls, welcome back to my channel. I do hope you're doing well. Welcome to Scandals with Shan, where we basically sit and talk anything like true crime, scandal, conspiracies, serial killers, forensics, biology, psychology. You know what I'm trying to say. And my lovelies, this month is probably kind of triggered by the book that I'm reading. It's a mind matter one that Dan gave me from his collection to read, and it's all about challenging our mind. And I started to read it and I'm like, could we actually change our mind? Is our brain unlocked at its full potential? Like, what is there left that we could do, and what is there that we could change? What is there that we could alter? Or is it literally you're born, you've got your genes, you're programmed that way, done, dusted? So of course, my lovelies, I asked you over on my Instagram and on my emails. I've got it all here. I don't want to ribbit rabbit anymore. Let's get in with the video. I don't know what I'm going to call this. The mind, our friend. Can we change the mind? We'll see whenever I put this up, eh? Guys, what do we think of the new blanket as well behind? Absolutely blooming love it. Right, so as I say, if you want to get involved in these, it is over on my... Where are we? It is over on my Instagram and also my emails. Let me just locate. There we go. So, I asked you guys... This month is all about our mind. Have we unlocked the full potential? Does the mind hide things from us? Are we able to tap into it? What do dreams mean? Can we retrain the brain? Anything at all. And we had a good little response. So the first thing is, our brains can only do 20%, I've read. Imagine what it could do if it done 100. 20%! If our brains can only do 20%, why? Like... why are we not able to unlock 100%? Is it because they don't want us to know? Are there people out there that have unlocked a lot more of their brain? It really does baffle me, because I think the brain and the mind is a very, very powerful thing, and it is the most unique thing to each person. And how it's shaped and how it's seemingly developed along our lives, a lot of it is influential. Is there stuff in there that is obviously genetic that makes us certain ways? I'm really... 20%? Really? Jeez Louise. One of my lovelies says, I've been worried for my grandkids since... What's this? I am worried for my grandkids for 1.5 years. I now have to restart my brain and be more positive and start taking care of myself. So this is something. So our brains, we... can kind of program it like on autopilot. So if, say, you have your morning routine, your evening, your work, like you're kind of on autopilot, and unless something happens that like shocks the system, you almost just exist or coast by in the mornings. So as I say, I'm in, I know my route, off I go. And then when, say, there's an accident or a diversion, it's like you're snapped, because you're like, oh crap, this is different, and you have to find an alternative route, for example. So I do feel that we can almost set cycles within our brain and set it into doing things that it's used to doing, of which could be our morning routines, our evening routines, our work commutes, stuff that is just on repeat, that almost is like mundane daily things that a lot of people wouldn't really consider, but our brain's just like, right, you're up, now go downstairs, do your teeth, have a wash, get ready for work, get in the car, and off you go. And then, for example, you might be driving and you hear the bing, petrol low light, and that again will shock you. You're like, damn it, I need to get fuel now. Then it's like a race against time. You're on a motorway trying to find a freaking fuel station that ain't going to cost you an arm and a leg. If you ever find one of them, do let me know, because, yeah, fuel is freaking expensive, let me tell you that. But I do believe that. I do believe we can program our minds, and I do think that they go into like these schedules. One of my lovelies says, I think our minds are always thinking, and I try to unwind by having a pamper to read my Kindle and de-stress my mind. So this is another thing. What do you do to de-stress? What is like your outlet? Some people drink, some people smoke, some people read, some people do art. What is your thing to de-stress? For me, if I feel I'm getting very like, ooh, like you're getting to the point, you're stressed out, you're burnt out, you don't know what to do, I would say have a bath, but I don't have that here. So unless I'm at Mama G's, it would be to have a bath. But here it would be to have a shower, have a full head to toe body, exfoliate, shave, lather, come out, douse yourself in body lotion and body butters so you feel silky smooth, like a little seal. Pop on some fresh PJs, get into bed with my book, and I know if I'm getting stressed because I don't want to look at a screen, I don't want to be on the laptop, I don't want to be on the iPad, I don't want to be on my phone, I literally just want to switch off and then I grab my book. Or I would come up, say, for example, in here, get under the blanket and I would plan content, because even though that's getting the brain working if you're a bit stressed, it's like a creativity side. I would sit there and I would plan the content and think of ideas, and Dan would come up and like we might sit in here talking about things for the channel or things for the house to do, things we want to do next year, where we want to go, things that's on the agenda, like conversation. It's either one or two ways. You have a little bit of conversation when you're a bit stressed, because I genuinely feel like when you're talking to your person, there is nothing better. Like they can diffuse and calm any situation. Or you take a little bit of solo time and you just come in, and as I say, whether you draw or whatever it is, mine's reading. Probably not the most calm, friendly books to read. True crime cases and occults and murder and talking with serial killers, but whatever calms you. A lot of people find it weird that I would watch like a serial killer documentary to fall asleep to, because I find it really calms me. And with the mind, when it gets stressed and that, I get really bad tension headaches. And when I get a tension headache, many times it reduces me to tears. If anyone has them, you'll know what I mean. You cannot in any shape, way or form get your head in a freaking comfortable position where it doesn't feel like someone is just thudding you with a meat cleaver on the back of your head. And whether you try and numb it completely with ice, it only comes back 10 times worse. So you can't find a position to get comfy. So I would I would be in a said position and watch documentaries, true crime, serial killer. And because I would be focusing on the documentary, it would take my mind away from the aches and the pains, and I would normally fall asleep to them. So by the time I woke up, touch wood, they would be gone. However, if it was a really bad one, I'd wake up still in pain, and that's when the paracetamols are coming out to me. But yeah, whatever way you de-stress, you do you. And as I say, if that's going out for a walk or having a bath, reading a Kindle, I do think fresh air is great as well. But our minds, it definitely, when it's telling you like no, like come on, you need to switch off, you need to start listening to your brain. And that's something that I have realised lately. You need to listen when your brain and your body is telling you like enough, like you need to take the foot off of the gas and freaking relax for a moment. Which, if you guys know me, is very, 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 very hard. I'm now, as I say, the whole thing with the laptop, God, that stressed my mind, went doo when the laptop deleted all of my calendar. 5 years gone like that. Not only that, it was like 4 months of content. I'd planned my autumn and winter content. Gone. So I've had to try and remember. And doing that was quite stressful. But, touch wood, I'm all good. I've planned the content. But I do know, me and Dan was actually talking today on lunch, I said we're coming into the busiest months now, and I know it was hard enough to do it at Mum's in terms of like more uploads through September and October, and then last year I done daily uploads all of November and all of December along with Vlogmas. And I said to Dan, I feel like it's going to be really hard this year, because 2 hours a day I'm driving, I'm commuting. And then 2 hours I could be doing filming, editing. So I do feel we're going to come back to the scenario of me up till maybe midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, editing, surviving on 2-3 hours sleep, and then going to work, doing a shift, coming back, filming, editing. But I need to try and find the balance this year. But me being me, I didn't want to go backwards. So I'm like, well, no, if I'd done that last year, I've got to do something different this year. Like, I can't go backwards and be like, right, December's back to 2-3 uploads a week, because I'll be like, you done daily uploads last year, girl. What are you doing? So, yes, my mind, I feel, could be very stressed in the next upcoming months. But we'll see. We will survive. We will get there. One of my lovelies says, I believe in the power of numbers, as we all have a life path, and you can definitely retrain your receptors to believe in things and be more positive. That's what this book is all about, like changing your mindset to be a bit more positive, to be a bit more like less chaotic and stressed all the time. Living your life like it's a more positive one is one way of romancing your days. It's hard sometimes, but steer clear of negative people if possible. The laws of attraction are real. Believing what will be isn't what we should be doing. Believing it's already happened, and we have already had the positive happen. Grateful days of journaling. I actually really miss my journaling. I used to do it every day. You know, my line a day. Oh, after like moving into the house and everything, I just completely dropped off of it. And actually, I might find the book, because I could actually restart that for 2026. That might be something I'm going to do. It's hard sometimes, and my life path is 7. I'm an Aquarius, so I'm a daydreamer anyway. Believe what you want to believe. Take care, love. Take care too, my lovelies. Okay, I don't... So, numbers. Everyone says like 1111 angel numbers. I don't really know the meaning of that. I can't lie, guys. I don't know what the numbers mean. Like the 444s, the 9s, the 6s, the 1111s. I don't know what it means. Is there somewhere that I could find what they mean? Is there like, or maybe a book? Because I have got like a few little spiritual crystal books. That's definitely something I want to get back into next year. I know I said it for this year. But I do want to get back into like crystals and kind of just that side of it. Like the journaling again, getting back into it. I want to find out what my life path number is now. And I'm a Gemini, so God, I don't know. I don't know, my lovelies. I don't know. I feel sometimes that we forget we are human, and yes, we have one life and we need to enjoy it, but we can get so consumed and so caught up with everything that it's just, it goes and you're like, what the hell? And I don't want to have looked back and thought, Jesus Christ, you just spent all of your life stressing, Shan. Like, what was you doing? Right, one of my lovelies. Good question. Shannon, years ago, I used to put the bad stuff away in boxes on a shelf in my head, which worked until I had a stroke and the bloody lot just fell open, which is when I went to get the help. 10 weeks later, it was much better than I thought, telling it to a stranger, and that was what helped at that time. I then went to medication every week, which took me to some nice places where I relaxed, but then the last few times I was going and seeing things I didn't like, so I stopped. I definitely do feel therapy and counselling and just talking to someone is sometimes the best way to just get it off your chest. Someone impartial, someone who doesn't know you, someone who's not going to throw judgment and just offload. Or, as I say, if you don't want to do it to a stranger, do it to your person, because there's never going to be judgment from your person. Triggers are what someone will say or do, but I found a way around that. I love that. We'll get into a really good book or a TV series, and if that doesn't work, a long bath. Have learned to say no and yes now, and again, we'll write to Mama G or you to see if I've dealt with something right. You know we've always got the advice there. Always give the sound advice back, so thank you both. Thank you. I don't dream very often. The ones I've had I think were true. When I lost Dad, I never went to a chapel of rest, as it's not something I can do. Well, I had a dream of him coming through a door with a bright light in a blue suit saying it's a joke. When my sister told me he had his blue suit on at the chapel of the rest, they say part of your brain is not used and can be trained to take over parts that become damaged. Don't know how true that is. That is something that I've heard, that we can like cover trauma, and if something traumatic or terrible has happened, people sometimes don't remember it because the brain actually will mask it. And it's like, say for example, you had a car crash. No, I never. or you lost someone really close, your brain, no, you never. So I believe part of that is true, because I've heard of stories and it's like, how can someone just forget? Like the brain literally just wipes and erases all memories of it. What has really helped is not having to do anything with negative people. And as you said weeks ago, if they don't bring anything to the table, then goodbye. That was a long one. Love you loads. Love you loads too. And yeah, I have a thing that if you're not coming to the table to bring anything positive to my life, and you're just coming to add stress, stick your oar in, be nosy, no, you're not welcome to sit at my table. And you know what? I'm probably not welcome to sit at a lot of people's tables also, and that's absolutely fine with me. I think, you know what? You know where your place is in life, and you know who's welcome at your home, at your table, in your life, and those who are not. And as I say, if they're not, they're not, and if I'm not, I'm not. But I definitely feel it's, as you'd say in there, the triggers. So you could think, I'm over something, or that's not the problem. And then something could be said, or something could be done, or you could see something or read something, and you can, in the click of a finger, revert back to whatever time that was, whether it be happy, whether it be sad or stressful or angry. And then the mind can be like, and put you back to your present day. I do think it is absolutely baffling, the mind, because as someone who grew up with grandparents and aunts and uncles who was in like Alzheimer's and dementia, the way the brain could not remember something 10 minutes ago, but if I asked them about like 1934, they would be sharp as a button. And then the next day, they would remember everything from the day before, but wouldn't for say 1934. I just think that it interests me so much. And that's why I loved biology at school. That was the science topic that I actually really did enjoy. Chemistry, nah. I mean, I liked making things explode and bubble and that, but biology, I loved the anatomy and the human body. I was just like, oh. Have you seen iRobot? I feel we have a chip in us that is going to be activated in the future. Do we have a chip? Is that why I always go off in the airport? My chip's going off at me. I mean, if we did, imagine. I mean, God, saying that, the way the world is, I can see there being some form of like an electronic tagging that goes under our skin. That was, what film was that? I've seen something where they put a tag under you. Is it Hunger Games or Divergent? It's something like that where people can track you. And then the last one I loved, it says, hi, I hope you're well. Sorry, this is a long one. The brain, I feel, is a very clever thing. It can warn you of illnesses, and it can warn you of many things also. Sometimes we don't listen till the things are out of our control. That I give that. That's very good. It shows us how to deal with past experiences, and is very much like a filing cabinet where you can lock things away, and when you need to go back, it's always there. So it baffles me. I like to think I have a good memory, but some of the simplest things that you think I should remember, way over my head. Yet play me a song that I might have heard in my younger days and I'll know word for word. How is it that our brain can store all of these song lyrics, but say trying to hold and retain stuff for say like school or work or education, we're like, But song lyrics back in the day, like anything, chuck early 2000s at me and I can be da da da. And yet you say to me, I don't know, square root of pi, Jesus. How long did we have that rammed down our throats at school? Do I know the square root of pi? Absolutely not. I can't remember. But give me Destiny's Child and Mystique and Christina Aguilera and all of the rock ballads. Words? Piece of cake. So yeah, my filing cabinet is probably just filled with song lyrics, to be perfectly honest, my lovelies. It can help with facing trauma that you would prefer to forget, as it's like a blocker that no matter what you try and remember, it will not allow you to, which is sometimes a good thing that's not to remember. An example with me was my mum passed away 18 years ago. I'm sorry for your loss. And I remember her being very poorly, going in hospital and being told she was dying, and it was only 11 days that she was in hospital to when she passed. I remember the night I wanted to be there at the very end, and unfortunately I missed it by minutes. But since then I can't remember the funeral, even who went. I can't remember anything. I can't even remember any memories anymore. So I believe my brain is protecting me not to go there, because if I do, I could be in a very dark place, as I can't cope with her not being here. So facing it full on, I don't think I could do that. This is what I mean, like if we have trauma or that, our brain just blocks it. It's almost like the body's coping mechanism as to how they would deal with it and how they can subdue it, in essence. But that's very, that one hits home a bit. We know, like with my nan, I was on holiday and no one told me, but I had a feeling something wasn't right on one of the days, and it ended up being the day that she had passed. I just had this weird feeling. When I asked how she was, it was, oh, she's okay, but she's still quite poorly. And she wasn't, but I had that intuition. And I went to see my nan at the Chapel of Rest. I see all my grandparents, I see anyone in my life who passes, I always go to a Chapel of Rest, because it helps with my death anxiety to know like what happens. And yeah, I wasn't happy. I didn't speak to people for quite a while because I just felt everyone was lying to me. And you then go into a thing of, you will block out. So like the last time I saw Nan, I would block that out because it wasn't how my Nan was. But I get that. But the brain, all the happy times, the brain can remember them. Dreams, they say, come with warnings, and in a way I think it's definitely right. I have the same dream every night and can dream in colour and can stop and start a dream any time in that dream. I can never get past this bridge as I see two people, can't see their faces, yet I try every night to go back but never close enough. So the brain is a very clever thing, as is it trying to stop me from trauma. So you have the same dream in colour and you're at a bridge that you can't get past, there's two people there. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if you ever get past it or you see the people's faces, you'll have to let me know. I don't know, like I can't stop and start my dreams. I might have a couple of dreams a week and it'll be as soon as that alarm goes, I'm up and I'm like, oh. I could never fall back asleep and go back into a dream. Like if I'm awake, that's it. My dream's over, done, dusted. But Dan, for example, doesn't really dream that often. He might have one dream a month or every 2 months. And if it is, guys, his dreams are the most randomest dreams ever. Like mine will hold some form of relevance to life, whether it could be past, it could be current, it could be future. But Dan's are just so random. And I'm like, he'll tell me in the morning and I'm like, what? What was you thinking of before bed? Because they often say like, whatever you're thinking of before bed is what will relay in your dreams. And he's like, well, definitely not that. And I'm like, I do think it's a very, very strange thing in the brain. But I would love to know if we can delve more into this. If anyone has actually any like mind management books, so I've got the book at the moment that Dan's gave me from his collection to read, and then I have the Let Them Theory book, the green one. You might have seen it in TikTok and Waterstones and everything like that. I think I might give that a go. I might actually have that to be my September book for when we're on holiday. Like a positive book, not going away and having a true crime serial killer book, because it might bring a little bit of a dampener to the holiday. However, you guys know 1st of October we're back on here. We are back, and I actually don't know what I want to read. I don't know, but I will actually be glad to get back into my serial killer books. I feel like I've read very different genre books this year, and you know what, this isn't a book video, but they'll be coming back in October. My lovelies, if you did enjoy the video, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe down below. And leave me a comment, what do you think of the mind? And as I say, thank you to everyone who did send bits and bobs in. Otherwise, I'll just be sitting here waffling absolute rubbish as pure always. Take care, stay safe as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!